Okay. Hello, colleagues. Welcome to our webinar. Together with Axidian and Manage IT, we are gonna dive into the topic, harnessing the power of Axidian PAM in the modern cybersecurity landscape. So, first of all, we are gonna start with introducing our companies. Yeah, let's give some time to our attendees to join us. And we are about to start. Okay. Welcome to the webinar of Axidian and Manage IT. Today we are gonna discuss the topic of harnessing the power of Axidian PAM in the modern cybersecurity landscape. So let's start with introducing our companies. But before that, colleagues, please note that your microphones are muted. And in case of any questions, please feel free to write them into the chat of QA. We will be happy to answer them after the presentation. Also, the whole webinar will be divided into two parts. The first part will be basically introduction, introduction of Axidian and our partner Manage IT, and some business cases. And the first part will be like more business part, and the second part will be dedicated to the tech demo of our Axidian Privilege solution. So yes, I believe that we can proceed. First of all, I would like to give a word to my colleague from Manage IT, Business Development Executive, Kevin Mwangi. Kevin, please introduce you and your company.
Thank you, Valeria, for this opportunity. I'm very grateful for this chance to talk to our prospective clients. So for my introductions, my name is Kevin Mwangi, working with Manage IT Limited, based in Nairobi, Kenya. So mine first is to extend a warm welcome to our clients. We hope that you'll be able to find this forum insightful and also beneficial to your organizations in terms of acquiring solutions that will be able to meet your day-to-day objectives. So for Manage IT, it's a well-recognized company. We have a combined experience of more than 20 years in the ICT industry. By and large, we do provide quite a number of solutions, cybersecurity being a core service. So you'll find in our today's discussion, we'll be covering the privileged access management solution that is meant to enhance your access to privileged accounts, privileged infrastructure. Probably it could be your ERPs, or it could be your databases and even the servers. So we all understand how the databases are quite critical in terms of data leakage or probably unauthorized access. So today's forum is meant to give more insights on how you can secure your IT environments and your places from external cyber threats. So I might not have quite a lot to give in details in regards to Manage IT, but we have served quite a number both in the public and private sector. and we'll be happily obliged to work with our close clients. So I'll hand it over back to Valeria for us to proceed with today's forum.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin, so much. Yes, we are happy to have such a committed partner as Manage IT. Let me please proceed with Axidian introduction. So we have a wide presence across 25 countries and a wide network of customers. We have over 50 customers all around the world, and we have been presented on cybersecurity market for more than 9 years, and currently we have 4 solutions of in-house development. The 4th solution I'm going to mention right now, ITDR solution, is coming this year, and it's under the development right now. And regarding 3 other solutions, we are going to talk about them a little later today. Also, we are represented, Axidian team is represented in 3 different regions of the world. We have offices in Europe, in Middle East, in Asia, and all these offices are responsible for successful operations in these regions. There are over 25 countries in our network, and we managed to provide vendor customer support within 24/7. And this is a very important point for us, and we are proud to say that. Okay, let's continue with the topic right now, harnessing the power of Axidian PAM in the modern cybersecurity landscape. As I have mentioned previously, our company, Axidian, has been developing cutting-edge solutions for modern cybersecurity. Let's take a look at 3 main solutions we currently have in our portfolio. So the first one could be described as from fragmented to integral access management, and the solution is called Axidian Access, which is basically an identity and access management platform that provides secure access for employees and customers to internal resources of the company. And here we can address different requested scenarios of multi-factor authentication. The second solution we are happy to represent in our portfolio is Axidian Privilege, and it can be described as from exclusive usage to everyday PAM practice. So this solution provides business and the companies with the ability to monitor, abandon some sessions and audit the sessions of privileged users. And we are going to dive deeper today into this solution and scenarios that can be covered with this solution. The third solution we have in our portfolio could be described as from legacy to modern public infrastructure, and is called Axidian CertiFlow. This solution is basically a card management system, and this card management system maintains life cycle of digital certificates and smart cards. So why is cybersecurity so important right now? Well, first of all, because misuse of privileges is one of the most common causes of data breaches. And privileged credential abuse is involved in 74% of data breaches all around the world. And according to some statistics, the average cost of data breach is now almost $4.5 million US, showing a 15% increase over the past 3 years. And believe it or not, but there is a hacker attack every 39 seconds in the world. Let's take a look at some cyber threats landscape. So in 2023, the cybersecurity community has been starkly reminded of the formidable threat posed by supply chain attacks. This wasn't a new phenomenon, but its prominence has surged due to our increasingly interconnected digital ecosystems. A single breach, as you know, in many components can cascade in a wide system crisis, as it was vividly demonstrated by the 2023 Okta breach. So, supply chain attacks. Are you prepared? Regarding Forrester research, 80% of security breaches involve privileged access abuse, and 66% of companies have been breached an average of 5 or more times. And vast majority of such attacks are related to supply chain attacks. And here I would like to mention that these situations could be prevented with the use of solution like Axidian Privilege, because it helps to monitor the activities of the users. It could be like internal users of the companies. It could be external contractors and so on. And if you know that, and almost every business has some critical resources, critical information. If you know that there are some employees having access to that type of information, it should be better well protected in order to escape these type of situations. Let's take a look at some cases of breaches that are known. For the first one, we will take a look at Siemens use case. So in this data breach case, the contractor planted a logic bombs inside spreadsheets, and actually they have been working with this contractor for 8 years before that case. So I believe it was a trusted partnership between them. So after a certain date, so-called logic bombs tricked and crashed the files. So every time the script crashed, Siemens called the contractor, and they had to fix it for some fee. And the scheme lasted for 2 years. And of course, it was a financial loss and also a reputation loss for Siemens. Let's take a look at another quite big data breach case, Singhealth data breach. So it was one of the largest data breaches in Singapore. So the personnel particulars of 1.5 million Singhealth patients were stolen within this case, and even records of Prime Minister and several ministers were under attack. And after that data breach case, of course, one of the priorities specified by the government was to subject privileged administrators' account to tighter control and greater monitoring. And so the companies would have this intention to implement privileged access management solutions. Also, let's take a look at SolarWinds hack case. So hackers targeted SolarWinds by deploying malicious code into its Orion IT monitoring and management software. The SolarWinds cyber attack stands out as sophisticated supply chain compromise that targeted a major software provider offering crucial system management tools for network and infrastructure monitoring. The SolarWinds attack highlighted the inherent inherent risk associated with compromised and trusted software vendors, especially those with privileged access to essential systems. So who could be described as a privileged user in the company? For example, it could be a system administrator or any type of administrator in the company. It could be a contractor, a third-party vendor, or sometimes even marketing department representatives, let's say, who have access to some critical information of the company or some resources of the publishing and so on. And basically, these are privileged users, those who can, whose misleading actions can cause sweeping or dramatic changes into the work of the company, or can somehow damage IT infrastructure or business in general. This is why we offer, alongside with our partner Manage IT, we offer a solution which is called Axidian Privilege, that provides business with the opportunity to control and monitor the activity of privileged users, including their access to some critical business systems and the list of allowed activities. Axidian Privilege helps companies to reduce the attack surface and prevent external attacks and insider malfeasance or negligence. Okay, so let's take a look at some use cases and some of the scenarios that can be covered with the Axidian Privilege solution. So first of all, it provides you with the ability to record the activities and control them. Axidian Privilege fully monitors and logs activities of privileged users and protected servers and devices. The activities could be logged in different formats, starting with video records, so you can track which windows were opened, which actions were made, or even mouse movements. Also, it can be a text log, for example, like comments or initiated processes, also file transfers and keystrokes. With the help of Axidian PAM, you can also set the parameters of privileged access. Axidian Privilege secures privileged remote access to critical systems for external and internal users. With the help of this solution, it's possible to assess the quality of the contractor's work. You can see how many hours, for example, the remote contractor has worked. It also can provide limited scheduled access and determine who gets privileged access, when, and to what resources. Of course, a very important parameter of monitoring the operations, and in case if something suspicious is going on within the session, it could be blocked automatically by the use of the solution. Also, Axidian Privilege can keep privileged accounts under the control. What does it mean? It means that passwords are kept. Passwords are managed automatically. So let's say, like, system administrators, they don't know the passwords. They cannot use it. Some privileged users, they do not know the passwords as well, so they cannot share it or do anything else that could possibly lead to data breach. So all the passwords are kept automatically in secret, and all operations with the passwords are done automatically as well. The other important point is that the solution can search unregistered privileged accounts and take them subsequently under the control and monitor the actions within this usage. Also, with the help of Axidian Privilege, you can put another layer of control with MFA. So basically, that means that it ensures that only authorized personnel gets privileged access, and in some different cases, PAM administrator can execute additional approval of opening the session for critical resources or accounts with the help of like password or TOTP. Let's discuss why is it Axidian Privilege? So why should we use Axidian Privilege? First of all, of course, it's flexible pricing and licensing policies. I will describe it a little later. So yes, it really makes Axidian Privilege accessible for any type of enterprise. Also, we can consider SMBs projects. And our team is trying to fight this stereotype of PAM being a luxury nowadays. So yeah, I believe that we can, with the flexible pricing, we can like fit any budget. The second point is that our team is ready to discuss and provide high-level customization and develop required PAM functionality specifically for the customer needs. The other very important point is that we are ready to provide 24/7 tech support. This is very important for our partners and customers worldwide. Let's get to licensing models. So as I have said, basically we provide our customers with the choice because we provide two licensing models. The first one could be based on the number of privileged users and resources, and the second one could be calculated regarding privileged sessions amounts. So basically any company can pick the licensing model which is more cost effective up to their needs. Axidian company, alongside with the partners, work with the variety of different companies, with large enterprises across the world. Also, as I have mentioned, we also have SMBs projects going on, and we work with different sectors like government agencies, international banks, oil and gas manufacturers, telecommunication companies, and so on. We can provide, as I have said, customization to different type of customers, and many companies from different spheres are protected by Axidian solutions. And let's take a look at some use cases of our company. So the first one was done for a Turkish telecommunication company, one of the biggest one, which is called Nitaş. And the task here was to restrict and allow SSH comments as needed by security policies. And here the customer wanted to prevent misuse of privileged access by the insiders. And also the customer required to implement additional approval of privileged sessions. And that was all implemented in the limited budget of Nitaş and was successfully deployed. The second use case was done for Nurol Bank. And here the task was to control and securely authenticate contractors in third-party web applications to make sure and to make the recordings of the privileged sessions just in case of any investigations. Let's say these recordings could be used. Also, within this project, Axidian Privilege was integrated with multiple in-house web applications developed by third parties. Yeah. The next use case was done for Ministry of Latvia. So task here was to provide strict control over the activities of internal administrators and external contractors. The customer was looking for a PAM solution with the ability to work with multiple AD and also within this project, let's say the budget was limited. We could fit the budget of this project, and also within this project, the secure storage archive for incidents investigation was required, and it was provided by our team as well. Yeah, so also was successfully deployed within this project. Let's take a look at the next use case, which was done in Singapore. And here we had another situation, let's say, because the deadline was quite tight. We had to, well, basically this investment fund in Singapore, they had to meet the mass compliance, and mass compliance was kind of, let's say, like central bank compliance. So it was very important thing to do. And as I have said, the deadline was quite tight. We had to do all the procedure within 1 week, and we successfully managed to do that. So that means that we are ready to work in tight schedules. So the customer basically needed to fully control the use of privileged accounts according to this compliance, and all stages of the project, as I have said, were completed just in 7 days. Also, important thing to mention that we are in a KuppingerCole report. Axidian Privilege was reviewed by one of the biggest German analytic agencies, KuppingerCole, and was described as well-designed and easy-to-deploy platform. And dear colleagues, in case you would like to have this report, please let us know. We will kindly share this report with you. Let's talk about benefits of cooperation with Axidian. So first of all, alongside with our partner Manage IT, we will provide you with the tech support 24/7. And the other point is that we are open to discussions of different projects, and we are ready to provide the customizations of our solutions. The next one is flexible licensing and pricing policies. So it's up to our customer which one to choose in order to make it more cost effective. Also, we provide free product testing, and to get the product testing, just let us know. We will be happy to provide you with it. And within this product testing, we are also provided you with the tech support. Also, we are open to do the presentations and demonstration to the end users and potential partners. So just in case you would like to have one, also please feel free to contact Axidian team. Okay, I believe that's it from my side. Colleagues, we are moving to technical part of our webinar today. So yes, I believe that as soon as my colleague Tatiana will be ready, we can proceed with the tag demo. Before that, I would just like to offer you to register for detailed tag demo. In case you already got interested in the solution, please feel free to scan the QR code and to subscribe for tag demo. Also, you can see the contact information. In case of any questions, we are always happy to answer your questions. That's it, colleagues, from my side. We are now moving to tech demo part.
Thank you, Valeria. Just a minute, please, colleagues. I share my screen now, and we can start. I hope you can see now my screen and you hear me well. And my demonstration consists of two parts. In the first part, I'm going to demonstrate the purpose of system components and the deployment solutions architecture. And in the second part, I'm going to show scenarios of the system on the demo stand. And let's start. Now you can see the management server. The management server is the central element of the system. It facilitates communication between the system components and manages the system logic. A little about system logic. PAM takes the passwords of users' privileged accounts. Users utilize their personal domain accounts, which lack administrative rights and only have user privileges. Using this account, authorize the user to access the console and sessions. And the management server includes the following system components, access policies and permissions. So these combine a user, resource, and privilege account into a unified permission. The event log. The system stores all events in the event log. Administrator console. Using this interface, PAM administrators configure and manage the system. User console. Through this interface, user connects to target resources. And AAPM module is designed to utilize privileged accounts in third-party applications and scripts. PAM uses a database to store data. The database is supported by the solution Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, and PostgrePro. The database stores logins, passwords of privileged accounts, system settings, and the text log of sessions. To collect and store video recordings, screenshots, and files transmitted during sessions from the long term, PAM uses a media storage. The media storage is dedicated SMB network storage. The next important component of the system is the access server, which is actually a jump server. The main user traffic from the workstation to the target resource passes through the access server. The access server supports connections from RDP to Windows resources, SSH to Linux and network equipment, as well as connections to user web and desktop applications using remote app technology. Additionally, we can add the SSH proxy component to the diagram. Users can work with any preferred SSH client using this component to handle SSH sessions. And on this slide, you can see the deployment diagram of the system with all its components. We can see a management server, 2 access servers, database, and media storage. The system supports deployment on both Linux and Windows. Then the system is deployed on Linux. Connections are available via RDP and SSH protocols. To connect to user web and desktop application, deploy an additional Windows server. This is the RDS role. And next, let's see how the user interacts with the system. This is the user and his workstation. The user authenticates on the user console using his domain password and the second factor. In the console, user sees all the resources available for connection. He chooses a resource, click Connect, and an RDP file is downloaded to the user's workstation. He launches the RDP file, and the session to the Access server is opened. The Access server verifies the user, his permission, the management server returns connection data, and the session to the target resource is opened from the Access server. Through the SSH proxy, the workflow looks a bit different. User in his user console copies the command to the connect to the resource, enters this command into any convenient SSH client, connects to the SSH proxy component from his workstation, enters the domain password, second factor, and then opens the session to Unix and network equipment through the SSH proxy. And it was the first part of my demonstration, and let's go to the second part. In the second part of the demonstration, I'm going to show you 5 primary scenarios of the system's operations. And the first scenario is how the user can get access via RDP and SSH protocols. And I'm going to user console. I hope you see this user console on your screen now. In the user console, you can see all the resources available for connection. You can also view the information about each permission. Now, I'm going to show you how a user connects to the resource using the RDP protocol. I click on the connect button here and downloads RDP file to my computer. Users can download this file once, and it is going to remain valued for the entire duration of the permission. I launch the RDP file, and now I have to enter the domain password of the user to whom the permission was granted. It is a James Miller. After that, I need to enter the second factor here. TOTP is the second factor built into PAM. During the initial console login, users are promoted to scan a QR code or copy the key into any TOTP code storage application. It can be Google Authenticator, Microsoft Authenticator, or our own application can be used. And I write here the TOTP code. If you need other second factors, the system can integrate via the Radius protocol with our second product, Axidian Access, or this your own Radius server. And now we can see a session to the resource has been opened. I'm launching the command line here. And we can see that the session has been opened on behalf of the local administrator, although I didn't enter the administrator credentials anywhere. And now let's run a random command like maybe dir and take a look at this session from the PAM administrator's point of view. I'm going to the administrator console. You can see this console on your screen now. I see the one active session here. In the session profile, we can view detailed information about the current session. The administrator can abort the session from the administrator console and manually refresh the log. And the supported methods for logging into RDP session include video recording of the session. This is a session stream, and the administrator can see in real time what the user is doing. Next, we can see here the text log. The text log contains active windows, running processes, and keyboard input. If necessary, you can download the text log or perform a search within the text log. We write the dir command, and now we find this command in the text log. To get the text log in RDP sessions, you have to install an agent on the target resource. Without the agent installation, logging options in RDP sessions are going to be limited to video recording and screenshots. And next, we can see the screenshots here. Screenshots were taken at a specific time. The minimum time is 1 minute. And now I'm aborting this session. The user receives a notification if the administrator aborts the session. Here we can see this notification. After ending the session moves to the all session sections, where you can view information about the closed session, review, and download session logs. And in the all sessions section, there is an advanced search feature that allows searching through the entire session archive, and it is possible to parse all text log files. And it was an RDP connection. Coming back to the user console, and let's take a look at the next type of connection. It is a SSH. For SSH sessions, so there are two supported connection methods through the access server and through the SSH proxy. A connection through the access server looks almost the same as connection via RDP. After authenticating and inputting the second factor, you launch a modified PuTTY client from the download RDP file. Supported login types for this connection include text log, for which no agent installation is required, provides full console input and output, as well as video and screen captures. Next, I'm going to demonstrate the second method of connection through SSH, connection via the SSH proxy server. To connect to target resource, I have to copy the command and launch any convenient SSH client. I'm using the built-in Windows 1. I paste the command here. Next, enter the domain password, enter the TOTP code. And then a prompt appears asking for the reason for connecting to the resource. We can see here reason. To open sessions, the administrator can set conditions. System policies configure this option, and it is not mandatory. Two conditions were set for open SSH sessions. The first, the user must specify the reason for connecting to the resource. We can write here maybe test. And the second, the session is going to only open after the administrator confirms. I come back to the administrator console. We can see here one action request. Within the request profile, I can view detailed information about the requested session and choose to confirm or reject the session opening. And I confirm the session open. In the administrator console, there is an option to configure email notifications to be sent to the administrator. Then the user requests a session open. And we come back to the session window, and we can see that the session to the Axidian Debian resource has been opened under the account PAM and DM. Now I'm executing here a few commands, maybe ls-la and maybe reboot. As you can see, the ls-la command executed successfully, while the reboot command reset. For SSH sessions, we can configure blacklists and whitelists of commands. Now, I am going to demonstrate where is configured in policies, and I come back to the administrator console, go to the policies, and I have one SSH policies here. For commands from the blacklist, you can choose a reaction here. Either reset the command or reset the command and abort the current session. In addition to commands, you can enter regular expressions to the blacklist. Also, you can configure notifications, and an email is going to be sent to the administrator notifying him that the user has entered a command for the blacklist during the user's session. And the solution can send all system events and text log containing keywords to the CM via syslog. And you have ability to control the direction of data transfer. You can prohibit it or allow it file transfer in session, or you can allow it on one direction. And you can allow the execution of the PAM-su command. It is here PAM-su. It is a replacement for the sudo command. The PAM-su command securely escalates privileges in SSH session. I'm coming back to the session window. And first, I attempt to execute the following command. Maybe like this sudoers file. My access is denied due to lacking permission to view the sudoers file. Sudo is blacklisted, and I don't know the password of sudo. To execute this command with elevated privileges, I enter our PAM-su command before the command cat. Enter the domain password, enter the second factor, and after authentication, the command is executed with elevated privileges without relieving the sudo password. And only text logging is supported in SSH session through an SSH proxy. It includes full console input and output. And I close this command, this window, and now I have shown you the main connections. So these are types of RDP and SSH, which are available out of the box immediately after installation. And now let's move to the next scenario. The next scenario is how users can enjoy SSO access to any system. I am coming back to the user console. I have two more permissions here. It is one cloud web application and to the PostgreSQL database. And they have differences between connecting via RDP and SSH, and now I'm demonstrating how they differ. And at first, I'm connected to the own cloud web application. I click the connect button, launch the RDP file, enter the domain password. Next, the second factor. And now we can see the Chrome browser has launched it on the user's machine in remote app mode. The SSO agent automatically filled in the address and intercepted the authentication window to fill it out of the user. To create a new user connection like this, we need to take a specific web or desktop application, analyze it, and use our tools to create a template. After this template is added to the system, the connection is configured, and the SSO agent is automatically filling in authentication windows based on this template. And I have aborted this session and now demonstrate connected to the Postgres database. And connect button, domain password. And second factor. And I'm going to connect to the database using the dbeaver client. The dbeaver client is launched in remote app mode. To create the Postgres connection in dbeaver, I used the second method of connection creation, passing arguments. The client received the login, password, and the connection addresses, then launched on the Access server in remote app mode. Video recording and screenshots supports login methods for new user connections. And I'm aborting this session, and let's go to the next scenario. And in the next scenario, we can see how permissions to access resources are granted. We can coming back to the administrator console to the permissions section. Here we can see which users or user groups have access to which resources and under which privileged account. And I'm creating here a new permission. First, I choose the department where the users is where the resources is located, and I'm going to provide more details about departments or organizational units later. Then I choose which user or user groups I want to grant access to. In PAM, there are two types of user groups, internal PAM groups and groups from the selected directory. And I choose the maybe Olivia Evans. Okay. Next, I selected a resource or multiple resources, or I can grant permission to access a preconfigured group of resources right here. And let's choose the Axidian user resource. In the next window, I have to choose which privilege account is going to open the session on the resource. It can be a local account, a domain account, or I can grant access on behalf of the user account. And let's choose the company PAM-ADM. In the next window, I can restrict the validity period of the granted permission. For example, the permission is going to be valued until the end of this month and only during working hours. In the next window, we can see some features. First, I can allow the user to change the privilege account's password in the user console. If I leave this field blank, the user isn't going to have this capability. Second, I can specify the connection source. This means that the user is going to only be able to connect from addresses within the specified range, like here. And third, I can enable the user of the PAM-SU command when granted permission. But since the resource Axidian user is a Windows resource, this feature is currently inactive. In this window, I can add some description to the granted permission and click the create, and one new permission has been added to the system. And let's go to the next scenario. In the next scenario, I'm going to provide a brief overview of the administrator console, the main management tool of PAM. Come back to the administrator console, go to the users section and choose some user, maybe James Miller. Information from a selected directory is displayed at the top in the user profile, while information from our system is shown at the bottom. Here we can view the permissions granted to the user, the user's group he belongs to, active and completed user sessions, whatever the user has a second factor, and if necessary, we can reset the second factor. There is then also option to disable the second factor requires the second factor request for a specific user. And additionally, you can view all events related to the user's activity in the system. And the resources is the next section. There are several ways to add resources to our system. We can add in resources from the domain. We can manually add in a resource using the add button, and we can use our console utility. Groups can be organized resources, and they are going to appear in the resource group section. And we can organize resources into organizational units. Currently, I have two organizational units here. It is a root and it is an admin. Each department or organizational units has a dedicated container with these resources, and the corresponding PAM administrator is granted permission to manage it. How it's look? As administrator James Miller here, I have been granted permission to manage all PAM departments. I can see root, I can see admin, and all resources included in these departments, and I can manage them. If I switch to the administrator console under another user, it is Olivia Evans. She has been granted permissions to manage only the admin department organizational unit. This organizational unit has only one resource, which she can see and manage. In the structure section, we can create the organizational units to delineate administrative rights between specific organizational units or departments. And in the applications section, the application section allows us to see which applications have been granted permission to retrieve passwords for access. PAM supports application-to-application password management features for utilizing privileged account in third-party applications and scripts. And let's move to the last scenario, how our system discovers and retrieves privileged accounts, as well as how it manages them. In the administrator console, we go to the resource and choose maybe Axidian user resource. After adding the resource to the system, the first thing I can do is manually add a privileged account. To do this, I need to know the login and password for this account. After this, I can configure the service connection. The system created service connectors to configure service operations. To manage accounts on target resources, connectors are required. Management includes searching for accounts, checking and changing passwords, and obtaining their security groups. And currently, you can see a list of systems where PAM can manage accounts. The Axidian user resource is Windows resource, and I use the Windows connector for service connections. Okay. After configuring the service connection, I can check connection, and I can synchronize information about the resource and perform a search for local account on it. The system found 3 local account on the user resource, automatically added the found accounts to the account section. I go to this section, and we can see that these accounts are currently marked with a red question mark. This indicates that our system recognizes that these accounts exist on the resource, but doesn't yet know their passwords. And in such an account's profile, we can see that account is pending action. I can remove it, ignore it, or make manage it. To check and reset the password and open sessions to the resource on behalf of this account, I need to make this account manageable. There are several options here. I can choose not set the password. I can generate random password and set password manually. The system configures the length and character set of the password. I am generating the random password. After this, I can check the password. I can change the password if it's necessary. This system records each password change, allowing me to roll back the password to a specific date. And let's move to the domains section. A service account is already configured for this domain, and I can check connection here. I can extract resources from the domain and add them to the system. The containers serve this purpose. We can select which containers our system is going to retrieve resources from. For demo, it is the Axidian computers container. And import resources. We find the one resource, new resource. After importing resources, the system automatically adds the found resource to the resources section. And in the domain, we can search for privileged accounts. Security group within the domain includes privileged accounts here. Our solution doesn't search for all accounts in the domain. It searches accounts that have this security group. And synchronizate. We find the 2 new accounts. If needed, we can manage the account and grant access to resources on behalf of this domain account. All these actions, searching for accounts on resources, checking and resetting passwords, I did manually to visually demonstrate all the capabilities of our solution. But our system can also schedule and automatically execute these actions. And this is all the scenarios we want to show you, and we would like to answer your questions.
Valeria, your microphone is muted.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you, Tatiana, for the tech demo pod. Yes, colleagues, in case you have any questions, please let us know. We will be happy to answer them. And thank you so much for participating in this webinar today. Yes, just a reminder that in case you would like to have a tech demo of the solution, please feel free to contact Axidian team or Manage IT team. We will be happy to arrange it for you to show you detailed technical demonstration of the solution. All right. Yeah. So yes, as I have mentioned, we are always in touch and open to the discussions, open to answering your questions. Once again, thank you for participating, for being with us, for your interest, and looking for new joint activities. Yes, thank you so much.